plank shoulder taps. We are doing this as an anti-rotation exercise. So that means that I don't want your body moving side to side as you're doing this. I showed you in a knee plank and a full plank. I'm going to give you a few check boxes that you need to be able to do in the knee plank before moving to a full plank to do this exercise. The knee plank version of this exercise is extremely difficult, and it is far better to nail it in the knee plank than move on to the full plank before you are ready. All right, so in the knee plank, we want to make sure that the top of our toes are on the ground, okay? I don't want your feet up in the air like this. Top of the toes on the ground. Now from here, we want to make sure that the hands are not way out in front of the shoulders, because that's just going to be a little bit too extended for us. So you want your hands, right under your shoulders, maybe a tiny bit forward, but they should be about right here. Now you can use the wall to kind of pull your toes up if you feel like having a little bit of tension on your hamstrings helps you with your pelvic position. That is totally up to you. All right, from here we want to make sure that there is a straight line from the crown of our head all the way through our tailbone. Remember, it doesn't need to be too straight with the butt tucked under and squeezed. We just want to make sure that we're not breaking at the hips here, or that we don't have the ribs flared or the booty twerked. Okay, all right, now we're going to exhale. And you really need to zip from the bottom up. You're going to lift one hand at a time. I want you to make sure when you lift that hand that you're getting a little bit of extra engagement from that low, deep core. So you might need to add in another exhale as you lift your hand. Your goal as you lift your hand is for nothing to move. I don't want your hips to move. I don't want your shoulders to move. If somebody were to look at you, they wouldn't even know you were raising your hand except for your hand is moving, okay? Everything else is staying still. One thing that really helps when we're doing movements like this is concentrating on something called our anterior oblique sling. I don't expect you to know what that is. It is a fascial line across the front. We also have posterior oblique sling that goes over the back of our body, but we're working on connecting all of these muscles together. Okay, so what that means is as I'm lifting my left hand, I'm really going to push through that right palm and the left knee. You may think that, oh, I really need my weight more biased in like both of my knees and the right hand, but when we do that, you're actually going to tend to move a little bit more. So I want you to focus on that diagonal line of tension through your right palm and your left knee when you pick up your right hand, and then when you pick up your left hand, when you pick up your left hand. Then when you pick up your right hand, you're going to focus on the other diagonal line of tension, and you will notice that it helps you to be more stable. Okay, so making sure we're here, and I don't want you to lock out your arms. Another thing we really have a bad habit of doing is locking out our stance arm to be able to transfer weight. So make sure you've got a tiny gentle bend in that elbow, because we're supporting ourselves with our muscles, not our joints. You want to make sure you have control before you go for speed. And we want to make sure that you have control before you move into a full plank. If you want to mix it up and do a few in a full plank and then come to a knee plank, that is totally fine. But make sure that you can support yourself without locking out your elbow in that full plank. Make sure that if you're in the full plank that you're not just kind of mindlessly going through the motion and having the hips sway side to side, because that really loses a lot of the benefit of the exercise. All right, that's how you do it.